Situationship. The whole thing is about boundaries, your boundaries, okay? But another place you can look is in the don't do list under accepting his no for now. And I'm also going to ask you to watch the video because in that video, I actually go into, okay, I'm accepting his answer no for now, but my response was okay. And what I'm thinking is, okay, if we can't address this later, I need to reevaluate this relationship. I need to reevaluate where this man is in my rotation of men. I need to evaluate what's the issue here. And 9 times out of 10, that's a boundary issue. So I want to show you how in that video, it could be a boundary issue. And and I didn't say it, but I insinuated it. You'll feel it. When you watch the video, you'll feel it. You'll see what I'm talking about. So that's under in the handbook under the don't do list, accepting his no for now. And there's a video. It's not an actual video, it's a highlighted link. Click the link, that will take you to the video. Another place to look in the handbook is under communicating with the man. Look in the section for power struggles, compromises, and power struggles. That's another place where you'll see an instance where we're looking at our boundaries. And that is actually going to lead you to deal breakers. And that's really what it's all about is a boundary is when there's something that is a belief that you have and someone infringes on that belief or tries to get you to compromise it. And sometimes your boundaries change with time. They change with the circumstances. So you kind of I'm a little bit lighter when it comes down to the boundaries because is this something I can change? Is this something that I can accept? Is this something where I could change my beliefs? Is this something I could change the meaning of? Can I live with that? Am I okay with that? A deal breaker is just like what it sounds. Nope. No way, can't do it. Never, not ever. Okay, that's a deal breaker. And so don't classify everything as a deal breaker, but you know what your deal breakers are. I don't deal with physical violence at all under any circumstances because I could end someone's life in that situation. Don't put your hands on me. 100% deal breaker. If that's your inclination, you feel that, nope, never going to end. It's not just in relationships. Nope, that is never going to work. That is never going to work. See how that's a deal breaker for me? What are your deal breakers? And the reason I'm talking about deal breakers is because you want to start with your deal breakers, what you absolutely cannot do. I cannot have a relationship with someone who smokes cigarettes. No offense to people who smoke cigarettes, but to me, it's like licking an ashtray. Ugh. Okay. That for me, that's a deal breaker. That's a never. Okay. That's a never. What are your nevers? Start with your nevers. Then you start looking at your boundaries. Your boundaries will tell you, okay, I don't like this. This doesn't feel good. Maybe the situation will change for you. Maybe it will. I'm not saying that it should. I'm just saying that there could be a question mark. Deal breakers are finite, they're definite. Boundaries, there could be some adjustment there depending on the situation. and the circumstances. All right. So, what I always do is, and I may have touched on this in the last video, is when I'm questioning whether something is just a boundary or a deal breaker, I ask myself, is this worth leaving him for? And I'm not asking that question lightly. I'm serious. I mean, like, really leave, it's over, done, kaput. And before you ever reach that point, before you ever act on that question, you've got to pause. Okay. If you reach the point where nothing else is working and this just is a no go for you, there's no other answer for you, pause. And when you pause, you're taking a break from the situation. You're stepping back from it so it's not in your face right now. And you're going back to explore yourself, your feelings, what you want, what you like, what you don't like, where your happiness lies, and is this impacting your happiness in a negative way? Overall, big picture. The pause is, do I have any of my old patterns sneaking up and infiltrating this situation? Is the old T reemerging in some kind of way? I'm turning my focus inward to really look and see what I honestly feel about this. I am taking this moment to shift from this emotional turmoil into my feminine existence to see, what am I experiencing? What's really happening here? Is it him? Is it me? Or is it something else that's bothering me? Is it that I'm not happy with this relationship? Is it that I have other expectations or anticipations? I'm going big picture now. I'm purposely not dealing with the boundary. I'm doing a big picture during this pause review. All right. I'm taking a breather, giving myself a little space. I may even extend it and do a little me time so I could calm down and then look at, okay, now let me look at the specific situation. Is this a boundary or is it a deal breaker? And 9 times out of 10, my answer is I can't decide that right now. But I'm not, just because I'm not deciding it right now, doesn't mean I'm not exploring the truth of the matter. If this is a boundary or if it's a deal breaker, if it's something that I can deal with. I'll give you an example. I have a friend and we were talking about, if you're with your guy and he starts, someone walks by and he's checking her out. What the? That's my response, okay? And my friend's response was, oh, that's what guys do. That's not a big thing. You're just not secure in your relationship. This is how coaches talk to each other. You're just not secure in your relationship. No, that's not it. That's her interpretation. That's not my interpretation. For me, that is a no-go. It's it's no good. It means something to me. If your attention is that short, if your level of respect is that short, you and I are not good for each other. That's my, so I guess that's a deal breaker, but actually it's a boundary. It's a boundary because I remember I did experience it once and I was like, okay, so that's what we're doing. So I started paying attention to all the fly dudes who were around. And I don't mean in a disrespectful way, but I just started noticing them. You know how it is when you see somebody fine and you with your man and your eyes stay straight so you don't look, so it doesn't become apparent, so you don't draw attention. So it's like, who you looking at? You, oh no, you just didn't. I started doing it. Yes, I did, because I figured that's what we're doing right now. when none of us we're not holding back any inhibitions and we're just going with the flow. Hey baby, I'm sure you didn't misinterpret that. I was just, whatever line you're going to kick to me, that's what I'm kicking back. I was just looking. I didn't do anything. Yeah, that didn't go over well. And that's how I know that for me, that is a definite boundary. Would it lead to the breakup of the relationship? Maybe, depending on a specific uh, issue at hand. You see how complex this is? And guess what? I'll be real honest with you. It is a deal breaker. At the end of the day, it's a deal breaker because you know what? I could get better elsewhere. I don't have to deal with this. And, ladies, that is why the topic of boundaries is found in the handbook under situationship. Don't be triggered. And there's a reason why I did it this way. Don't be triggered that, oh, my relationship is a situationship. It's just a booty call. It's imaginary. No, it's nothing like that. It's just that putting yourself ahead of the desire to be with someone, ahead of, oh, wow, I have to start all over again, ahead of, oh, well, it was just this once. Nah, the situationship means that you have settled for less than what you deserve. And by that very definition, someone is violating one of your boundaries, and it may be a boundary that you're not aware of. So, this is a tight knit ball of situations that has to be pulled apart, teased apart, so that you can reevaluate your boundaries or maybe even discover your boundaries because boundaries develop. You could have never been through a situation, and once you went through that situation, you're like, mm-mm, nope, not for me, never again. So that's why boundaries is hidden within the situationship area. I just don't want to trigger people by saying you got a boundary issue. Oh, there maybe you should start questioning what's going on. You should really look at the big picture. So, if you find yourself with those questions, rewind, start this video over again, and listen to it from the beginning without being triggered that I'm trying to say that your relationship is a situationship. I am not. I'm just saying that the kind of questions you need to go through are normally found when you're questioning the relationship and if it's really for you, if you ignored something and continued on with the relationship. Because if you're ignoring someone violating your boundaries, or you're ignoring the fact that a boundary developed and now you're not happy and this isn't good for you and you're settling, or it's not really what you think it should be, or you're having expectations or anticipations that aren't really going to come from this person, a boundary issue has arisen. Ooh, I know that was a surprise. Y'all didn't like that, but honest answer, and I'm sure I will hear from those several ladies who I've been corresponding with about boundaries, but I figured let me answer everyone's question together in one place and get a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, iced or hot. Get yourself in a comfortable way, have a nice couple of minutes for yourself, and open up the handbook, whether it's on your computer or you printed it out. Go to the situationship section and release all misconceptions, preconceptions, or triggers. We're not saying that your relationship is a situationship, but this is the place to look to explore your boundaries and any issues that arise from that. As always, you can leave a comment, even though y'all seem to really prefer to email me. It's okay. I get it. It's private, but you can leave a comment below or email me, and I will address this any further, but we'll probably cover a different topic next week unless you guys really push for something else. Okay? Until the next monthly video. Ciao.